Ladies and gentlemen, mayors, I think that's only appropriate. This is a very historic day for the city of Hammond. As you can see, it's the gathering, first time as we know it, of four living current and former mayors of the city of Hammond. And we're here basically to pay tribute to the fine work that each and every one of them have done over the last 35 plus years for the city. But at this time I'd like to call up our current mayor, Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr., who of course has been mayor for these last 8 years, and my personal comment, hopefully 4 more. So at this time I'd like to call Mayor McDermott up to do some
Hammond's a 127-year-old city, and one of the things about this city that makes it great is its history and our sense of history. We have an opportunity that a lot of cities don't get to experience. It's having 4 mayors that are relatively civil to each other and still relatively good friends, and we thought it would be a good idea to pull everybody off for historical purposes and let me do something to them that they did to hundreds of other people, which is present them with a key to the city, because they all deserve it. So for one time, let's give the 3 former mayors a big round of applause. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to call the mayor up, give a little short biography of what they were known for, present them with the key to the city, and then we're going to let them address the crowd for a couple minutes. So first I'd like to introduce Mayor Edward Ruskowski. Ed was the mayor from 1976 to 1983. He got elected in 1975, got re-elected in 1979. Ed was a United States Navy pilot. He was Indiana State Senator. He was also the former city judge, lifelong Hammond resident. Ed was known as a tough mayor. It was Hammond first. And in fact, one story that a lot of people tell me about Ed is when he took over, there was a big issue about 8094 and the lighting on 8094. We used to have lights on 8094 that the city of Hammond had to pay for, and the lights weren't even all in Hammond. Some of them were in Munster, some of them were in other communities. Mayor Ruskowski took the bull by the horns and shut those lights off until the state realized that they were in error. To this day, I haven't had to worry about that because Mayor Ed Ruskowski took care of it. It was dark for a little bit on 8094, but then the state got their act together and they picked up the utility bill that should have been paid for a long time ago. Mayor Ed Ruskowski was born on Eaton Street, lifelong Hammond resident. If you don't mind, give him a big round of applause and I'll call that up. I guarantee you, Mayor Delo, Mayor McDermott Sr., and Mayor Ruskowski gave dozens, if not hundreds, of these keys to the city out, but they never got one themselves. That's what I like about this. So, Mayor, if you won't mind, this key to the city is hereby presented to Edward J. Ruskowski in grateful appreciation for your immeasurable contributions to the city of Hammond as mayor from 1976 to 1983, and your tireless efforts to make Hammond a better place to live and work. Presented on this 30th day of June 2011, Mayor Thomas McDermott. Thank you, Mayor Ruskowski.
Double paces, firemen and policemen got from 10 to 20,000 and doing a lot of things for the people of Hammond. I was born and lived in Hammond, East Hammond, and I'm very proud to be here. And I'm very glad to see the people that I know. There's a lot of people here. And this is a great thing to get to. And my wife will really love it when she sees it. Thank you.
This next guy I shouldn't have to take too many notes on. One of my favorite parts of running for mayor was when I ran for mayor, my father's name magically changed from Thomas McDermott to Thomas McDermott Sr. And I always liked that. I'd like to introduce Thomas McDermott Sr., Mayor of Hammond from 1984 to 1992. He was known at the time when he was elected as the first Republican mayor in a city that nobody thought Republicans could win in. He was the first Republican mayor in over 30 years at the time. Major accomplishments that were accomplished under my father's watch: the Hammond Marina. He purchased a boat, floated it into the marina called the Hammond Clipper, and had big dreams for maybe possible gaming, maybe other things would occur in that marina. The Hammond Clipper was, one of the sad parts about being mayor is a lot of times, even when you're right, you get beat up for it. This was a perfect example. The mayor got beat up a lot. Mayor McDermott Sr. got beat up a lot about that Hammond Clipper. And guess what? The Hammond Clipper's not here no more. What we have now is Horseshoe Casino, which is one of the major job generators and revenue generators in the state of Indiana. Could never have happened had we not built that marina. Could have never happened without that vision. My dad was elected in 1983, 1987, and in 1991. He started the project that was finished by Mayor DeLo, the federal courthouse. He started the project, the Holman Avenue overpass, both very important projects. Let's give a big round of applause to the former mayor of the city of Hammond, Thomas McDermott Sr. This key to the city is hereby presented to former Mayor Thomas M. McDermott Sr. in grateful appreciation for your immeasurable contributions to the city of Hammond as mayor from 1984 to 1992, and your tireless efforts to make Hammond a better place to live and to work. Presented this 30th day of June 2011. Congratulations, Mayor McDermott.
I never cared for that senior delegation. I have a great son, a lot of great sons, and a great daughter. I'm proud of all of my, I love the city. It was the greatest point of my life, was the period that myself and some very, very dedicated people that work for the city, which a lot of them I see in the audience still today, are still working for the city. It was the proudest part of my life. I think we did a great job for the community of Hammond, and I couldn't be prouder that my son has got the same dedication that I had to the community of Hammond. Thank you very much.
The next mayor I want to introduce, Mayor Dwayne W. DeLo, was mayor from 1992 to 2003. Also a lifelong Hammond resident, Mayor DeLo was caucused into the mayor's office in 1992, elected in 1995, re-elected again in 1999. Interesting fact about Mayor DeLo's tenure: 1 year short of the longest tenured mayor in Hammond's history. One thing that I constantly compliment Mayor DeLo on, and this is something he should be very proud of. It's a document that he drafted, that his lawyers and him drafted, when the gaming agreement was put into effect in the city of Hammond. Document that specifies that 70% of the money that comes in from the Horseshoe Casino will be invested into infrastructure and the parks of the city. 30% was discretionary for mayor's gaming money. It's literally been praised by people all across the state of Indiana as one of the best gaming agreements across the state. That's something that I think he should be very proud of. Under Mayor DeLo's tenure, he created and built what is now the Lost Marsh Golf Course. He started the first tee program. He finished the federal courthouse in downtown Hammond. He finished the Holman Avenue overpass. Like I said, he's 1 year short of the longest tenured mayor in the city of Hammond's history. And very interestingly enough, recently, within the last couple of weeks, was made a deacon in the Catholic Church. Let's give a big round of applause to former Mayor Dwayne DeLo. Mayor DeLo, this key to the city is hereby presented to Dwayne W. DeLo Jr. in grateful appreciation for your immeasurable contributions to the city of Hammond as mayor from 1992 to 2003, and your tireless efforts to make Hammond a better place to live and to work. Presented this 30th day of June 2011. Congratulations, Mayor.
I'm the bologna between the bread, as they say. Ladies and gentlemen, and Mayor McDermott, I truly do cherish this key to the city. It is something that will remain very special to me for a long, long time, and I will put it in some special place in my home. My tenure as mayor of the city of Hammond, after the first Mayor McDermott, was truly a great time in my life as well. I made a lot of friends. I see him here in the crowd, and we did a lot of work together. And I do mean together. We didn't do it, I didn't do it by myself. I did it with each and every one of you here. And I thank you for that on behalf of the citizens of Hammond. And God bless you.
So I'm gonna wait for some future mayor to present me with the key to the city one day. One of the great things about being mayor and having 3 former mayors is the fact that, and I know mayors can appreciate this, is it's a unique job. And you have, when the mayors get together, not just the mayors of Hammond, any mayor, you sort of have a brotherhood, even though there's a lot of, it's the wrong word to use, but a kinship that we all understand what's going on. And it's great to have 3 former mayors that I can offer advice to and bounce ideas off of. So I truly appreciate and congratulate all 3 of the former mayors. They're outstanding public servants and they deserve another big round of applause, please.
When we were organizing the press conference, and there's also going to be a private lunch this afternoon just for the 4 mayors by themselves. We're going to have one shortly. We were talking about how many employees actually are still here with the city, all the way back to Mayor Ruskowski. And the total number is 17, not counting police and fire. But we noticed that there were a couple of department heads that go back all the way to Ed Ruskowski. And so we thought it would be fitting to call them up right now. They served as city engineer and head of environmental management under all 4 mayors. So Stan and Ron, if you'd like to come up for a minute and say a few words.
No one told me I was going to speak. I'm starting to feel old here. It seems like I've been around here almost as long as this building. I started out under Ed. He was a great guy to work for. Worked for Tom Sr. We got a lot accomplished. Dwayne, we rebuilt the streets throughout all the neighborhoods during his tenure. And then Tom Jr., who I've been working for now for the last 8 years. We've accomplished so much. We have changed the city, especially from my standpoint. Infrastructure is greatly improved. We built about $200 million worth of street improvements over this time. We've improved the sewers. Now it's even rare for us to get basement backups because we've spent so much money rebuilding Hammond's infrastructure and then making it some of the best infrastructure in Northwest Indiana. And I really appreciate you guys for all keeping me while I was here. I'm giving a job to somebody else. Thanks.
This is somewhat of a special occasion for me because I started with the city under former Mayor Clinton and started July 1st, 1971. So tomorrow starts year 40 with the city. And one thing I have to say is each of the mayors that I have worked for have built upon the environmental theme of improving the quality of life in the city of Hammond. It was a rough fight because this started as a very industrialized city where industry was really not challenged. And under each of the mayors, our authority, our emphasis in regards to quality of life in the neighborhoods has improved. And I think when you look outside, you don't see those dirty smokestacks, you don't see those issues that are out there that are bad for the environment. Each of these mayors has steadily built the quality of life here in Hammond. And it's really been a pleasure to serve each and every one of them with the design, and I think you've heard it from each of them, to improve the city of Hammond. Each of them has done that, and each, I think, should be proud to have served the city of Hammond. Thank you.
And although I haven't worked for the city of Hammond all this time, I actually have had a personal friendship and business relationship with all 4 mayors.
We had a torrential downpour a couple weeks ago, 4 inches of rain fell in the city of Hammond, and there was literally less than a dozen basement backups. Now, I remember talking to my father about his tenure as mayor. He said, Tom, we get a half an inch of rain and have hundreds of homes underwater. It's because over the last 4 administrations, we've been focusing more and more each year on rebuilding infrastructure of this 125-year-old city, and it's paying off. You don't notice it, but you do. What you don't notice is your basement is not backing up. What you would notice is if your basement was backing up. The fact that they're not backing up is because of all of the mayors have been doing their homework and been doing good things for the city of Hammond. Thank you all for coming out. This is a historic moment. I appreciate the mayors coming out. It's really nice to see everybody. We're going to go up and we're going to have a nice lunch, and thank you very much, mayors. It's good to see you all.